Straw Hut Media.
You ready for this? You doing the intro?
Yeah, I can do the intro.
Are you excited to do the intro?
I am excited to do the intro.
Oh my god.
Wow.
This is my fiance, y'all. I've been dealing with this all week long. All right, so on this week's episode of Confess Your Mess, we had Heartthrob Anderson on the program. I feel like this has been a dream of yours that has been months in the making.
Yeah, dream, fantasy, whatever you want to call it.
Fantasy is the right word, probably. I've heard about this guy so many times.
Hey, you know, IG crush.
And I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I kind of had a crush too.
See?
And now that we've had him on the pod, you're going to find out why in a second, but my crush has only grown.
On this episode, it's all sex secrets and they are juicy. And then Rob, of course, reveals his own. You have to tune in right now. Confess your mess. First of all, let me just tell you about the power of manifestation because
or DMs. That too.
Listen, welcome back to Confess Your Mess. First of all, AJ.
Yeah.
We are tired as
We are so tired.
Frank, you can bleep that because we went down to Mexico for 38 hours.
39.
39.
It's you know how I like numbers that are like divisible by 3.
Yeah.
So I say 39.
Because if we're watching TV or something, if I put on the wrong number, he'll make me change it like one up or one down.
Hella uncomfortable. Yeah.
But anyway, so we went down to Mexico to do wedding planning, and no sex was involved.
None.
This trip.
None.
However,
no time for it.
No time for it.
It takes hours.
The theme of this episode is sex secrets,
yeah.
And we have a very special guest who we'll introduce in 1 second. But back to manifestation, or DM, as AJ says. On Brandon's episode, Sex Positive Safe Space, Brandon Cal Goodman, we had a conversation about a couple of people. We talked about our favorite trainers, Ben and Donald.
Yeah, we just brought up all our favorite people that we wanted on our podcast.
Rob Anderson. And we had like a little bit of a dialogue about Rob. It was kind of a monologue on my end.
No, you were thirsty.
Okay, well, fair enough. Anyway, posted the clip to Instagram, tagged Rob and Brandon, and then Rob responded in the DMs, and I was like, hey, you should come on. And they're here.
Me not being the jealous type that I'm not said go for it. So,
right.
Yeah, Rob Anderson is our guest today. Rob, thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. That is true. That is a true story. It was definitely hilarious.
You seem like the type of man that responds well to flattery. I'm just going to say it.
I'd say generally, unless it's like my life is in danger. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, unless my life is threatened and I need to leave immediately. Who isn't warm to it?
Well, thank you for being here. We're super excited. We're huge fans of gay science. You do these bits on Instagram that are so freaking funny. And we're going to talk about it, but I just can't get over how well written they are. And if they are in fact written, I can't imagine you improv all of that because they're so good.
And detailed.
Yeah.
And the graphics and the editing and even boyfriend twins.
Yes.
They're very talented. And so we go back and forth because we're great at what we do.
Yeah, we lack talent completely. We just we just have a lot of gumption.
But you're very creative in terms of, every single week you're pumping out content on TikTok, on Instagram, and all these different platforms.
You just said pumping. You're so weird. Come on.
Am I weird?
It is sex themed.
It
I
is
know,
sex
right?
themed, so maybe I'll just keep inserting like...
Oh, wow. Inserting. Here we go. It's going to be a fun day. It's my fiance, y'all.
Listen, but no, you're very creative and it's inspiring, but also it's like, do you get exhausted? Because I feel like it has to be exhausting trying to constantly think of different topics and themes and...
Well, first, thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say. And it's very fun for me. It can be, I wouldn't say exhausting is the word, but I mean, it's work. It's work. You put a lot of work into something. That's a package.
package.
Keep it with the sex theme.
Package.
Okay. He has packages delivered, ladies and gentlemen. They really want to deliver that package, Rob.
I order a lot of packages. The people in my building are like, oh, you're in so-and-so, my room number, my apartment number. And they're like, there's so many packages for you all the time. And I'm like, okay, chill. Well, but I do order a lot.
Low-key, he works for Amazon. He hosts Amazon Live. So we get probably 20 to 30 packages a day.
Yeah, that's a lot.
A day. So we totally get it. Our dog goes ape shit every time.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yes, thank you for the compliment. And it is a lot of work, but I really do enjoy it. and they're written out, and I get suggestions from my followers on Instagram, which are always really good. And whether or not I go with what someone has suggested, it inspires me to think of something else. And it's just fun playing around with something that doesn't matter, but you're kind of saying something else anyway.
Yeah.
Because there's some truth to some things, but it's all just making fun of ridiculous stereotypes that can't possibly be applied to everyone. And I do really enjoy it. Gay science is my favorite thing.
Well, I would say that I actually relate to every single stereotype so far. But I watch your videos. I watch your videos. I'm like, bitch, how did you know? Like, how, like, you say things sometimes that are so relatable to me that make me laugh that I wouldn't have known would have made me laugh had you not said them. If I read them on paper, they might not have made me laugh. But the way you deliver things is so good. Your comedic timing is just genius.
He's really stroking your ego now.
I sure am.
But before we get into the sex secrets, the video, is it the video that made you viral? Is it the one
the
where
twerking or the
was it? Where is it in New
the
York?
booty pop in Sheep's Meadow?
Yeah. Where is that? You live in New York.
So we actually So I took you to New York this June, right? Because we got engaged last Christmas, which we delayed by a year because of the pandemic, and then we got engaged and we didn't get to celebrate. And I planned a trip to New York City so we could go ask my best friend to be my best woman. Is that what we're calling them? Yeah, and then go see his family who lives out there. And so I took you to Tavern on the Green. Remember, we did a whole like cheesy like tourist thing that I never did when I lived in New York City. We did a carriage ride, Tavern on the Green.
Wait, AJ, I just want to know where Sheep's Meadow was.
No, well, I'm telling you that right off of Tavern on the Green is Sheep's Meadow. It's really nearby, right?
Yeah, it's right next to there.
It's where everybody like lays out in the summer. We used to just go hang out there in blankets and just drink and just have a good time. And that's where
it's one of the nicest places, like only places to like be around something nice in New York. But then on every second Sunday in the summer, a lot of gay people go out. I mean, gay people are there all the time anyway, but like it's like more of a congregation. And that's when I'd filmed that video of me just like dancing to put it against music. It was filmed like a few years ago, but I put it against music that shouldn't really be danced to, but I think is really fun. And then that was just like part of something that had, I guess, taken off when I started posting videos.
Yeah.
I think the first one that people started to pay attention to, the first video I posted was, if you remember the Charlotte Aubrey who sang A Star Is Born. Yeah, I felt like that video of her singing randomly in the subway was so not random, right? Like someone didn't just come up to her, like they definitely knew each other. And so I compiled that with like something else that was viral, and then that kind of took off. I'm like, oh, this is fun. I'm going to keep doing this.
I loved when you danced to the theme song from the Nicole Kidman. Is it The Undoing? Or is it The Undoing? What was the Nicole Kidman?
A Big Little Lies.
Big Little Lies. That's what it was. It was Big Little Lies. It's so iconic. I love it.
That's on my workout playlist. Okay, so it really is no joke. The theme is sex.
All
so
right, let's do it.
Let's get into it. AJ and I both had a shot. I had an edible as well, so this should be fun.
Oh my God, why didn't you tell me?
I may have too. You can.
Up.
Listen, go ahead.
Maybe I'll do a bump of K or something.
Confess your mess in a K-hole. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first secret is from No Name Larry. I love that.
No Name
Larry. Not anonymous. No Name Larry.
So wouldn't their name be Larry?
Well, no. Also, they put Larry Lary, which I've never seen it spelled that way.
What if it's No Nam Larry? What if it's like French or something?
Technically, they did not capitalize the N in name. So
from
we'll
Florida.
we'll say No Nam Larry. Non-binary from Florida.
America's penis, Florida.
When I was 19, I saw one of my dad's friends on Grindr and sent him a message. I went to his house and we hooked up. Best D I ever got. We kept hooking up for almost 3 years until I moved to Florida. To be honest, I wouldn't mind getting it again. Oh, good for you.
Okay.
I mean, are you still friends with the... It was their friends, that their dad's friend on Grindr.
This makes me think of the dad that you're into from Euphoria.
Euphoria, he's so hot. It's like a love-hate relationship.
Was it Eric Dane? Is that his name? There's something weird.
He's so hot.
Yeah, right. There's something about the dad thing that's really kind of hot.
And he's just very aggressive.
Yeah.
I think it's a massive fantasy to hook up with a friend's dad. I think most people have that.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine everyone had a friend's hot dad, right?
Yeah.
No, not in Ohio. We don't have any of those.
Yeah, I'm like thinking.
Other dads were hot, just not my friends' dads. Although my one friend Ben, his dad was kind of handsome. He looked a little bit like Alan Thicke. May he rest in peace. He was cute.
Oh, Alan Thicke.
I wasn't really into him though.
Yeah.
Have you? So you've been into a friend's dad?
Most of them. Yeah. I think too, like looking back, if you were to objectively just look at what your friend's dad looked like, you're probably like, I don't know. Why would I find that attractive? But when you're growing up and when you're really horny and going through it all, they're so hot. Like the way they act, the way they like call their kids in to like reprimand them and like I don't know. I'm like how abusive they are. No, I'm just kidding. But there's like the hot. It's like there's a man there.
Well, it's the power dynamic. The sort of they're at an age where we are finally now. Hopefully, like we're getting there. Yeah. Where they're comfortable in their own skin and they know they're in charge. Like they're in control of their household and they're the boss, and that's attractive. Maybe.
Yeah, no, it is. When you're younger, I think when you get older, I don't want someone like bossing me around, or maybe I do, but not like all the time.
Yeah.
And also like they like fuck their wife, you know, like that's hot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you fuck your wife. Like that's really fucking hot.
I like to be bossed. I like to be bossed around on our anniversary and on his birthday. That's it. 2 days out of the year. That's it. He can say or do whatever he wants. That's the rule.
But also, I don't have the urge to really. I'm very submissive. Like, I really don't have the urge to boss you around. Like, it's a lot of work.
I know you're playing with your hair right now as you think about it. You're like, what would I
do? Okay, before we get to the next secret, because we're just going to ask random questions. Since so AJ and I got a California King.
This
bed.
is your this is your personal interview session with Rob Anderson right now. This is totally what this is. Okay, got it.
So AJ and I got a California King bed, but there was a lot of talk on Rob's page because what'd you get, an Alaskan King bed?
Oh, what's that?
Yes, I got an Alaskan King bed. Now this purchase was out of trauma from being in New York during COVID in 2020 in a small studio apartment with me and my dog. And I just came to LA and I wanted to not feel like how I felt in 2020. So I have this big bedroom in this place that's way too big for me right now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to get a huge bed. Like, I don't have any furniture. This is a huge room. I'm just going to get a big bed. And I've always wanted an Alaskan King. It's not something many people, I think, know exists. It's the largest size of standard mattress you can get, which is 9 by 9 feet. So it's like California King and then Texas King and then Wyoming King, which is 8 by 8 feet.
Wait, what?
And then Alaskan King, which is 9 by 9 feet, which is what I have.
Where do you find sheets for that? Because I have a hard time finding California King sheets that are cute.
A lot of places actually have California King sheets if you just message them. So a lot of bedding brands, if you just send them like contact us and say, hey, do you make sizes for XY? They're like, oh yeah, we do. You just have to email us for it. But the duvet and duvet cover and mattress cover were a lot more difficult to find. There's actually only like 1 or 2 places that made that.
Oh my God. I had no idea you could just DM somebody or send them a message. Also, I think I hear Alaskan King and I think of like crab legs. That's where my brain goes because I love seafood. Well, I didn't know that existed.
I was still in sex secrets mode. So since I'm doing my personal interview here,
how many men can you fit in that bed? Oh no,
because we've seen. Well, I've seen. You'll have people and you'll play games like Mario Kart and things in the bed. But how many people? How many people can fit?
How many people have been in that bed
sexually?
Oh,
so sexually 3, including me.
Okay.
Which I know sounds disappointing.
That's a lot of space, though, to move around.
That's standard. There's acrobats taking place.
The first thing people think of when you tell them you have a big bed like this is an orgy.
Right.
And I love orgies. I love group sex. But I mainly I have a big projector that goes opposite of the wall that's 100 inches. And I did mainly get it to watch shows and movies with friends. And the most I've had in that sense, I think we've had 7. Playing like Switch and whatnot. But as far as orgies go, I'm new to LA. I haven't even been here a year. And I like to know what a person is like at least once when we're out in a social environment before I have group sex with them or before I'm in an environment with group sex. So I just haven't been doing that in LA. And I'm not about to invite like random people from Grindr over to my place to like have some weird group sex where like the energy is really off and like someone's really bizarre and doing weird stuff, you know, like it makes everyone uncomfortable. So I'll get there, but it's just something that you need to, I mean, it's a perfect bed for having sex with a lot of people.
It's important to have goals. It's important to have goals.
Yes. And then I have a second bedroom. So like there's more places for people to I don't have enough friends here.
It's always fascinating to meet people who are so open and honest about the things that they do in their life. And I think that's beautiful. I think it's awesome. So hey, well done. If I had an award, I would hand it to you right now.
Here, I'm taking it.
Oh, taking it.
Taking it. Well, there it
Oh,
is.
Yes, I'm receiving it.
I love this theme we have here. Okay, so thank you for answering my question about the Alaskan King. I'm sure I'll have more questions later. Let's go to Anonymous Male Colorado. I hooked up with an older trucker when I was 18 and spanked him in his truck. I also brought him some of my dirty tidy whities with piss on them.
Okay. Listen, people are into what they're into.
He could have charged for that, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen those people who sell their dirty underwear online.
Maybe they did a whole season about that on Orange is the New Black once, where they were like would wear them for a while. They'd get them kind of nasty, then they'd mail them out and they'd make money off of it.
You know, let's confess. Let's confess. I don't want like piss on the underwear, but I like a little.
Oh no! When we first started dating, that was the thing. If I wanted to get him to go, I'd be like, just whatever, just bury your head down there for a little bit, and then he would go crazy. Am I allowed to say that?
After you work out?
Yeah, after I work out. Like that was his thing. That was his kink for the first year. It doesn't really work anymore after 9 years for some reason. But that was his thing.
Yeah, it's just like it's the smell of a man.
Yeah, what is it for you? Is it scent for you? Like, what is the thing that like when you meet somebody? What is the thing that turns you on the most? Is it a personality thing? Is it a stature thing? Is it a smell thing? Is it an energy thing? Like, what works for you?
If they have a massive dick, or a massive ass, like either one, I am into it. And unless my life is in danger, we will have sex. Like, and honestly, if I'm a big personality guy. I like connecting with someone, but that's if like I'm going to know them for a little bit more than an hour, you know. But if it's something that's pretty quick, like they don't have to talk that much. Like, there doesn't have to be that much talking, but what's there is there to get me turned on, I'd say. Sorry, is that like a little shallow?
No,
Listen,
but that's real. So, no, that's real though, because some people, I think, and it changes at different points in your life, right? When I was in my 20s, well, I've always sort of been a relationship guy, kind of. But if I was really honest with myself, and I lived in New York City, and then when I first moved out here, I really didn't want to be in a relationship. I just kept finding myself in them. And I went through probably a 6-month phase in New York before I moved here after a breakup. My ex was cheating on me with a lead from a chorus line. And so when that happened, I definitely had a little phase. And if I'm honest with myself, I probably should have continued that in Los Angeles for a long time. Because I ended up getting a relationship that I should not have been in. But I really just wanted to basically sleep around.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
So we came up with the name for our podcast listeners.
Should we just test this out? Rob, you're the first person to hear this because literally 20 minutes ago, Emile's like, I think I have a name for our listeners because they're all really messy and they submit things to us. So he came up with
messengers.
Oh, approve.
Yes!
Yes, okay.
Oh, we got the eye roll backwards into the head.
That's
perfect.
Really good.
Amen.
We
Okay,
got the
you like
eye
it?
roll backwards into the head like an orgasm.
Yeah, an orgasm. We just gave Rob
Are you
Anderson.
capitalizing mess or is it just implied?
Oh, you know,
Yes, I think. Oh,
yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's spelled the same.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, this is wild because your brain works so much like mine because the first thing I said when he said messenger, I'm like, okay, how can we play with it and make it a thing so it stands out that we're really accentuating the mess part of it?
Right.
Our brains are opposite completely, Emile and I. And usually he comes up with, like Confess Your Mess. He came up with all the ideas that got me to the idea to name it Confess Your Mess. Initially, we were playing around with secrets, and we couldn't figure that out. I was like, secretions. Like, we're like, okay, that's too much. That's way too much. But we worked together.
Secretions.
Yeah. What if we called our listeners our secretors? Thank you, secretors.
Oh, my God.
Dirty.
That gets a different eye roll.
Messengers is great because they can also spread the word.
That's what I said.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
See?
Rob.
It's good.
Listen.
Rob, you're like our child. You're literally like a little bit of him and a little bit of me.
You're like between us.
And I'm 6'5" and I can fit in that bed. I'm just saying.
Wait, he is between
secret.
us because no, we can't do next secret. We literally introduced messengers and didn't even read what the messenger of the week was.
I just made a joke about his bed and I got nervous. So
He had tequila, yeah. He
here we
tends to
are.
like gloss over it a little bit. Okay, so this is from JLH420.
420, like it.
420, new listener. Found this pod listening to AJ and Emile's episode of Scam Goddess, and I'm hooked. Look forward to more episodes. If you don't know, we were just on our friend Lacey Mosley, who was our premiere guest on her podcast, Scam Goddess, which is amazing.
Who was on the Emmy-nominated Black Lady sketch show this year on HBO. She's phenomenal. She's so great.
Harper on iCarly.
Yes.
She's one of my best friends.
They're filming season 2 right now already.
I know, and they just wrapped.
I know.
But that episode was just featured in Vulture, so
Yes,
we're really proud of that.
We got our first press.
I know. They said,
wow.
AJ and Emile, thank you. You know what? You're like our support.
I know. Literally like 1 month in, a few episodes in, we got mentioned in Vulture, which is really exciting.
What they say? They said AJ and Emile power couple.
Power couple, they called us.
And host of Confess Your Mess. We were like,
So I did what we do. I immediately DM'd the girl who wrote it on Instagram. And I was like, listen, if you ever want to feature us again, here's another episode. Take a listen.
It's what we do.
Working it.
Listen, thirsty as Okay.
Okay. Let's go. Oh, okay. This next one, Anonymous Male, Georgia. If you don't know, I'm from Atlanta. ATL, shout it. Okay. My deepest sex secret is that I slept with 5 guys in a day, but two out of the 5 were brothers, and 3 of them were teammates that were on the DL. Oh. And to this day, I still have sex with them, even though they have girlfriends.
Okay, that's
wow.
This is not real. There's no way this is real. There's no way.
Okay, please explain.
There's no way. Not the number of people, because that isn't that strange to have sex with 5 people either at once or in a day. That's not that strange at all. I think it's the combination of the brothers, that they're all from a sports team together, and that they're DL and them regularly and cheat on their wives to them regularly. That there's too many details like that. And also, like, someone that would end up happening to, I feel like they wouldn't write into a show to say, like, it's just like someone got excited to say a sex secret, and they really overdid it. They need to finesse their lying a little bit, you know?
But to be clear, what Rob is saying, though, they wouldn't write into a show, but if they were to write into one, ours would be the one, is what you meant to say.
Exactly.
Very true.
Exactly.
Very true. Okay. Let's go to the next one, which is M. They go by M. Okay. Female, Arkansas.
Arkansas be kinky. Okay.
Where is Arkansas?
It's like Arkansas is like in the middle and kind of the
near
south.
Nebraska?
It's near like Nebraska. I feel like Arkansas, Kansas, and Nebraska could all be the same thing, right? Like they're kind of around each other. Is that really offensive to that entire part of the country?
Let's call them all one state together. Let's like never refer to them individually, and we'll just collectively refer to them as one state.
Canarxus.
What would that be?
Canarxus.
Canarxus.
Kansas, yes. Arkansas, and Kansas. Canarxus.
Okay, so M, female from Canarxus. My Apple Watch called my boyfriend while. Wow.
Oh, what?
Wow.
Where's it go? By the way, I don't know these secrets.
If this ever happened, I would be so pissed. Maybe slightly turned on, but mostly pissed.
What are you about to say? Like while they're having sex? You would love it. You'd be so mad for like 3 minutes.
My Apple Watch called my boyfriend while I was out of town and having sex with someone else. He heard a solid minute, including our orgasms.
So this happened on Grey's Anatomy last season. No kidding. I think Teddy and Owen, maybe it was last season or the year before. Teddy was sleeping with, I forget the guy's name. He's gone now, but she was supposed to get married to Owen. He was waiting for her at the altar.
I remember
and
that.
And she was having sex with her ex, and he heard it. It left him like a voicemail, and he was devastated. Fast forward to now, they're married. Apparently they got over it, but
spoiler
this is
alert,
real. Grey's Anatomy. Get into it.
Grey's Anatomy. I mean,
most of my references actually come from either Grey's Anatomy or The Young and the Restless. So you just need to know that about me.
Would you? Here's the thing, and I don't know the dynamics of everyone's relationship. Because
so if it feels like this was an accident, so it feels like they're getting this off their chest now because this is something bad that happened to them. It doesn't sound to me, Rob, correct me if you're hearing something different. It doesn't sound to me like, oh, this is just a normal thing we do. It sounds like I got busted.
Yeah.
And I feel stupid.
Definitely busted.
Yeah.
This is confessing your secrets. This isn't like celebrating something you love, you know?
Exactly.
This isn't like tell us something that you enjoy. This is a secret. Yeah. So definitely they're probably not open in that way.
Low key. So on the same vein, I just told this story on my radio show recently. I can't believe I told it on the air. Sorry if you didn't want me to. It's already there. It was live. So
wait, am I included?
Yes. So
okay. So first of all, we talked about this. Okay. So I don't listen to your show every day because I'm working sometimes. Or I'm dealing with the dog. We talked about I am fine with you confessing your secrets. Keep my secrets out of your mouth.
Listen. Okay. So I only said your first name. There aren't a lot of Emiles in the world, so that's probably not good. But,
okay. Go ahead. What was it?
So it was the time that.
Wait. Pause. What if I? So okay. It's already out there. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was texting Emile just a few years ago. I was texting him.
Oh, God, not that story.
And at the same time, I was also texting his mother, who was the first lady of her church for 47 years, married to the Reverend Ennis Sr. And I was also texting my best friend, who is a doctor. She is a licensed therapist and also was my pastor years ago. Yep. So there's a lot going on. I'm texting all 3 of these people back and forth. And you know how sometimes when you're talking about somebody, you accidentally text what you're talking about to that person because they're like on top of your mind. It's like the absolute worst. And then you have to like explain it away like, oh, girl, I was just kidding, but you really weren't. So I text, I'm going to pound you when you get home tonight.
It was dirtier than that.
It was way dirtier than that. I'm going to pound your hole. I said something about like pounding your hole. And I sent it. And the second I sent it, I was like, oh my God, I don't know who I sent it to. So the options are the mother, the first lady of the church, who's just barely okay with me and us being gay after all these years.
Yeah.
My best friend, who's a therapist and my former pastor, or my now fiance. So I'm freaking out, right? And I couldn't even look at my phone for a second because I didn't know. I didn't want to realize like what I was about to realize because you can't unsend it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I look. It wasn't his mom. So I took a deep breath. But it was my best friend, the pastor. And to this day, she randomly sends me, I'm going to pound your hole out tonight. And she randomly texts that to me. And she lives in like Lisbon, Portugal now. I'll wake up next day, like randomly one day, and she'll be like, I'm going to pound your hole tonight. I'm like, oh my God, that is so humiliating.
It was the best option of the two, though, it sounds.
Of the final two, yes.
Yes.
Because I'm definitely have to still be a virgin in my mom's eyes at this point.
Right? I know. Your mom doesn't think we've had sex in 9 years.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So she doesn't listen to the pod. She's not a messenger.
No, we've told her not to listen.
We literally don't post. We don't post on Facebook because that's like where old people will go.
Yeah.
And so we don't want our parents to listen, although my mom did find us.
Oh, yeah. His mom listens. But you guys have talked about sex before. And
when I was 18 years old, my mom took me out Christmas shopping one year, and we went to lunch at Chili's, I think. And she had a big margarita, and she asked me if I still have a big penis.
Okay.
Because when I was born, apparently, the doctor said you have a healthy baby boy. And by healthy, I mean very, very healthy. 18 years later, my mom asked me over cocktails while I wasn't drinking, Christmas shopping at Chili's. And I said, Mom, I'm fine. I don't want to talk to you about my penis size right now. Can we go find stocking stuffers for my little brothers and sisters?
Why are straight people obsessed with their babies' penises? They circumcise them. They why? They're obsessed.
Yes. She was waiting 18 years till it was appropriate to ask me. She waited every day of her life probably till I turned 18.
Yeah, we definitely have a different relationship.
I love my mom. She's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, but granted, on the last episode of the podcast, I did talk about the thing with my dad.
He masturbated so much that his penis was swollen, and he had to go ask his dad, the reverend,
when I was going through puberty,
take him to the hospital. This was like 3 years ago.
I didn't know what was wrong, and I went to, we talked about it in the last episode. Anyway, I went to the hospital. He said,
go check it out. It's a good episode.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Anonymous female, Nigeria. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm not a gay man, I love to watch gay male porn. Rightfully so.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, pause before we continue. So back to your bedroom in the Alaskan King and the 100 inches.
I knew we were coming back to this.
So do you watch porn on that huge screen, or do you just keep it to your phone? Do you like more intimate, or do you like the? Yeah,
are you like an iPhone close to the face when you're looking, like propped on a pillow nearby, or are you like big screen?
I have not watched it on the big screen, but I obviously I would. I just lately haven't been a big porn person. I've watched a lot of porn in my life, especially when we're going through puberty, and like porn is like so exciting. But I've had such great like sexual experiences in the last couple of years that I can think back on them, and it's a hotter way to jerk off than porn.
That's me. I'm a memory guy, and I used to get into trouble when we first started dating. I also would think about past partners or even past like boyfriends that I'd had that I'm not really into, but the sex was fantastic. And those early years, he was not okay with it. Look at him looking at me. Okay. And all the years, apparently, you're not okay with that? I don't do it anymore, honey. Mm-hmm. You've now replaced all my sex highlights.
No. Yeah.
You're 1 through like...
He couldn't even remember them.
Yeah, you're like 1 through 50 now.
No,
They're
of course.
all erased.
Yeah. You don't randomly...
It's like the wand from Men in Black.
You don't randomly go to the bedroom, jerk off, and be like, "Oh, I was thinking about so and so and so and so."
I did that yesterday. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I did reveal that to him yesterday. But that was like just random.
Right.
Okay.
But also, it's like a fantasy. It's fine. Gabriel. Oh, I didn't finish the secret. Okay, here we go.
There's more?
Yeah. Well, they just said they're not a gay man, but they love to watch gay male porn. It's a female.
Oh yeah.
Why that is, I don't know. Maybe there's something about the male body. Well, gay porn is hot. Well, not all of it. Some of it needs some work.
Well, but Rob, do you ever watch straight porn? Do you ever get into that? Have you gone through those phases?
I have watched it. I actually know something about why women watch gay porn, including lesbians and straight women. But I sometimes watch straight porn but it's too brutal. Like it is really so brutal to the women, especially if there's multiple guys in the scene, because the guys are really hot. They're all like super hung and really hot. But like I cannot watch a woman be gagged so like viciously. she overacts where she's just like acts like she can't breathe and just like she just wants to die. That is just not my thing. I try to focus on the guys and the dicks, but I'm just like, she is seriously someone like call 911. Like she needs help. But to this secret, I actually just saw something on TikTok like maybe earlier this year from a lesbian where she likes to watch gay porn because there's when two men get off together on camera, they're clearly enjoying it enough to both get off. But in straight porn, you just cannot tell that there's the connection where like the woman is faking it or she isn't really enjoying it. So it's more real to watch gay porn. At least this is why some women like it.
No, that's actually really good.
Yeah. Well, we not related to The Secret at all, but related to gay porn. We have had conversation in the past. So if we do watch a scene together, what bothers me is, and some people might just like anal stimulation, but what bothers me is if the bottom is not hard while they're getting penetrated, it's hard for me to watch it. Yeah. Because that's for me, usually if I'm...
Well, I think it goes along the same lines, because what it says to me is that, oh, they're not that into it. They're just doing it for the scene. And so in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're not enjoying this right now. And if I don't think everybody's enjoying something, that's a turnoff to me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I sometimes go in and out of being hard when I'm bottoming. It's something where like it feels really good, but it's a different sort of part of my brain that feels good than when I'm hard. Like I get hard when I'm topping and getting blown. So I can understand why. Like I sometimes like to have sex with guys in jock straps because if they can't get hard, like it's not a big deal. Like
there's
it's
no
not
pressure
that important to me. But I can understand how like in porn, you already assume they don't enjoy it. They're actors. There's no connection like at all. So for them to be soft in addition to that, I can see why it's like really not hot.
The jockstrap thing makes sense. It kind of takes it out of the equation. It just takes it off the table and you're saying, we're not going to worry about this. We're focused on this right now.
Yeah, we started with
not
the
everyone likes jock straps.
Yeah.
But
no, I do.
I like to imagine that they like if I'm topping, they exist for one reason only, and it's their ass. Jock straps like frame that.
Same. No, I'm
gonna have to leave the room for a little bit.
I'm a jockstrap, gray sweatpants, hoodie type of guy. Like if you were in gray sweatpants and a hoodie and there's a jockstrap underneath, like game over every single time. I'm good to go. If you throw on a backwards hat on top of it, I just can't. My entire 20s. I grew up in Ohio. I went to Ohio State. I mean, this is how every single guy dressed walking across campus, and I just lost my mind.
Well,
those were good days. Okay, so this is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Here we go. We're very excited for what's to come.
Heartthrob Anderson is on the pod.
Yeah.
And you've brought a secret that you sent to our producer apparently 8 minutes ago.
I didn't send him, actually.
Oh, you just have it.
Oh.
Yeah, no one knows this.
It's like a true surprise.
Wait, nobody know you didn't want it in writing, did you?
Well, I mean, it's not, compared to these secrets that you read, it's more like a tip secret versus like this will destroy me. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
we want to be destroyed.
We don't you do.
When you all asked me to come up with a secret, I was thinking about it for a bit and I'm such an open book. Like I really don't keep many secrets, which is to my detriment, but also something people can find things to relate to. So I'm like, I really don't know, like something I've been holding on to because I just like let it all go. But this is something that I had mentioned to someone the other day. And I'm like, oh, this might be good for this. So yeah. Should I tell you?
Okay. Wait. So you were thinking about us the other day? You were like talking to somebody about us? Like,
no, I was thinking about this secret.
All right.
I should have just lied and said, yes, I was thinking.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
It's time to confess your mess. Like that's the thing we came up with. Like we just do that. That's the thing we do. So yeah, we're workshopping.
So my secret, my mess that I'm confessing is when I bottom, I've douched a little too aggressively, or if I've had to do like some sort of enema and my ass, it feels like a little irritated, I'll take some water-based lube and put it in the douche and put like a little bit of it in my ass. And what I have found is that it makes the sex really good. It's not just like lubing the outside of your ass. It's like putting some inside because if the top doesn't use as much or it's like a little bit irritated, it makes it feel amazing. So that's like my little like secret, my bottoming secret.
That's write this down.
No, what
That's
do we
hot.
we use silicone base, right?
Well, it can mix with silicone when you if you use silicone to lube up, water and silicone can mix. So it works even better. But sometimes if you put too much in, especially if you didn't say anything beforehand, the top is like, what is that? Like if there's too much, they'll be like, oh, this is really wet. And that's when I'll just tell them like, oh, it's just like someone's cum.
Oh my God.
And they usually find it hot.
Yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. That's a good
like
one.
a bonus little secret you gave us there.
That's another bonus secret.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes there's also cum too. So
I feel like I'm like blushing right now.
Yeah,
like
you are turning a little red.
That's low key kind of hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you've seen those that meme where it's like after my hole after 2020, and then they zoom into the hole and it's just like dripping cum. Okay, so since we have you here, we're almost done. But so we have a section where people sometimes we don't do it every episode where people like write us advice or they ask for advice.
Yeah.
So it's gonna come from us today. So
we're asking?
Yeah, we're gonna ask.
Okay.
So we've been in LA for you've been here for
15 years.
15 years. I've been here for a decade.
Yeah.
We can probably count our number of gay friends.
We have like 4 or 2. Do we have any? I don't know.
So here's the thing. So we don't really go out to WeHo. We sit on the sofa, we drink wine and play with our dog.
Yeah.
And people invite us out, or they say, oh, let's grab dinner and drink sometime.
And we legitimately want to every time.
And then we bail.
And then we don't.
And so
he hates us. Look at his face right now. Look at him looking at us like he's disgusted by us.
I actually had a piece of food in my molar, and so I was like trying to push it out, but I'm also just disgusted by this.
So since you've been in LA for
1 year and have way more friends than we do,
what would be your biggest tip to us, the couple that is
how to gay in 2021?
Yeah, how do we be social gays?
So you've been fooled. I actually am not highly social here in LA. I was actually going to say I totally agree. I also have 4 friends. It's been interesting making friends here. Difficult because when you're in your 30s or later, you feel good about the friends you've made, and so you don't want to go through the experience of meeting a lot of people who you necessarily won't vibe with and wasting time on that just to find 1 or 2 people you might. You'd rather just stick with the people you know.
So real. It gets harder the older you get.
Yeah, and if you have a partnership that it works really well and you'd rather experience something with them, the idea of experiencing with other people that aren't as enjoyable is like, like I'd rather not. So this is probably why you guys stay in. I feel like your therapist. This is probably why you two stay in.
Yep.
But if somebody bails on me, I've noticed that people do it a lot in LA. They flake on things a lot.
And
it sounds like you do too. Like you're self-admitted bailers. In New York, I lived there for 4 years, and by the end of that, I had a really great, healthy group of friends we would do a lot together. And then on the fringe of that, also really great friends on the fringe who would also commit to things, and we'd go on trips, we'd go to Fire Island, etc. But here in LA, if I try to connect with people, they'll bail. If they bail twice in a row, I'm like done. I write them off as somebody that isn't worth. It's already so exhausting to try to get to know someone enough to see if they're going to be a close friend or not. I don't have the time to spend time to try to make those things happen. Like if it's not there and you don't see anything interesting enough to prioritize hanging out at least through the second time, it's just not
okay. I want to clarify just in case you ever want to be friends with us. I want to clarify.
I know we're not making the best pitch right now.
We're not bailers. We will say, "Oh, let's do game night. Oh, let's do this,"
we do that
and
thing.
Then we just never really follow through with the actual date.
But low key, to be fair, a lot of people also don't follow through, or they just kind of ghost a little bit. And I think that's what Rob's saying. Like in LA, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Like we've tried. I'm like an Ohio guy at heart. My friends back home in Ohio were ride or die all the time. I had a large group of gay friends I hung out with all the time. Even when I was in New York City, I was only there for a year. It was so much easier for me to make gay friends there. I was part of like the gay volleyball league, and I was going to like I was doing the thing.
Right.
Monday nights at Barracuda with my friends. Like it was always like a thing. Out here, gays are different in LA.
Yeah.
They are. And when I think the fact that we've been in a relationship for 9 years, like, yeah, you know what you're going to get. I know with you, I'm going to have a nice dinner. I'm probably going to watch some Netflix, and that it is what it is.
Yeah.
I go out, I might just meet people that don't want to talk to me.
It's true.
And then I feel insecure and I have to go to my therapist again.
I think I know. I've thought about this a bit because it's all I'm kind of surrounded by here. And I think in New York, people are confident in who they are. So they know wherever, like when me and my friends go out somewhere, we know we are the best thing that we can be doing. Like we are confident that we're going to have fun with ourselves. It doesn't matter where we are. And if we show up to a party, it's a party because we're there. And I think that in LA, everyone's really concerned with what the best option is. What's the next best thing? Is there somewhere better I can be?
Yes.
And so they'll make a plan with you for a weekend and go, on Saturday, that sounds great to drop acid in the park. That sounds great. But then it's always that day or the day before, which is the worst. It's not even like a few weeks where they're like, oh, I actually have a wedding. And you're like, okay, that could make sense. It's always right when another thing pops up and they go, oh, and then they lie and say, I don't feel well. I did this, but they're choosing to go to a concert, like someone else's birthday party that just popped up. And it's just insulting. You're like, I'm not an idiot. It's like, I use my clues. I know that you lied to me. And like, you're just choosing something better because you aren't confident in yourself that you can be somewhere and have a good time because you're you. You have to be where everyone else is, the popular thing. It's very LA.
That's real. I was just telling him, I only lived in New York for a year. And I remember like the things that we would do randomly in New York, the adventures we'd get into were just so different. And like, I like randomly one night would be at a prom and like down in Brooklyn with all my random friends. And we were like wearing like tennis shoes and like gaudy prom clothes. And we had the time of our lives. And then like another night I'd be like out till like 5 a.m, like eating somewhere at some random little spot down on Christopher Street. And like, it was always an adventure. Here, it's like literally like, you have plans with somebody and 30 minutes before they cancel because Deadline or Variety or Hollywood Reporter is throwing like a red carpet somewhere and they have to go. Like that's really what the city is though, in a nutshell.
Like we learned something today.
We learned a lot.
Yeah. What
did you learn, Rob? Did you?
What's your
takeaway?
Yeah, your takeaway of the day.
That Nebraska, Arkansas, and I can't remember the last one. Kansas are actually just one state, and we've all thought they were 3. But they've actually always been 1, which is great because now they get only 2 senators instead of 6. We can finally get some legislation passed. It's going to be great.
Okay.
We need to spread the word.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. What do we call it?
What did you guys learn today?
What did I learn? I learned, me personally, I learned that I low-key am a freak. But I didn't realize like my freak like level was pretty low actually. Like in actuality, I'm a pretty like classic kind of guy,
right? Who
just like in the right opportunity is nasty, but I don't actively pursue it,
right?
Yeah, and also I learned what an Alaskan King bed is. Never heard of it.
Hey, you learn things. I learned that by this point of the podcast, my edible and the tequila shot, which is really so
he's in a K-hole.
Trying to go back. I learned a couple of things. I learned that Rob, you're genuine. Sometimes you meet these quote unquote influencers or whatever, and they're vapid and whatever. You have these preconceived notions. I didn't really have that about you, but that happens sometimes. We've met some people, and
I did.
You're a nice guy. So kudos to you, and congrats on moving to LA. And excited for you and all your Alaskan King journeys that are to come. And yeah, thanks for being a fantastic guest.
Go check out Gay Science. I can't tell you how obsessed I am. I watch them. I listen to them. They hit home, and I'm like, "Damn, how did he come up with that?" It's one of those things where I watch these little snippets, your little mini episodes, and I think to myself, like, "Oh my god, how did nobody come up with that? Like, how did I never think of that?" But yet, it hit me in my core, in my gay little core.
It hit you in your core.
Hit me in my core, and there it is.
Yeah.
It's a sex talk, y'all.
Yeah,
and also, if you ever low key want to try to be friends someday, you know where we are.
Yeah, we're right here.
Yes,
give us 2
I think we'd make great friends.
I think we would too. Give us 2 chances, though, please. or the first thing needs to be like, hey, guys, in 20 minutes, do you want to go get a coffee? So then we can't say no. We're like, sure. And we just get in the car and go.
Yeah.
But then if you can't, that would count as one of your bails. So
see, that's too soon, AJ.
I have game nights all the time. I'll invite you all to the next game night. I have a full bar of pre-mixed cocktails, and they're delicious. There's like 7 different kinds. I'll have snacks from Trader Joe's. I do a great game night. You'll feel comfortable and drunk.
Wait,
Oh my God, I love
Trader Joe's? Do you?
Yeah,
You know the way to my heart. Like, this is turned out to be better than I ever could have expected. Rob, you're incredible. You're so much fun.
Yes.
We appreciate you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. I had such a great time. This was so fun.
Confess Your Mess.
Confess Your Mess is a Straw Hut Media podcast produced by Ryan Tillotson and Frank Driscoll. Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe and share.
And if you have a secret and want to share, go to confessyourmess.us to submit. Your secret could end up in the show.
Ooh.